is friendship, diplomacy, and cultural cooperation.
Thank you very much. Well, we were there not so very long ago. Yes. And we didn't have time to travel outside of Prague.
But by traveling with 52 other chiefs and queens symbolic of the exiles, Otumfuo Osei Tutu II did not only seek to reenact history, but to situate his thinking of the present into the past. It was at this same spot that Nana Agyeman Prempeh was photographed with the exile group. His great-nephew will record his presence with his entourage the same way, the changing face of history at the place of their desolation. He leaves with mixed feelings but congratulates the Adams family for keeping the heritage of his uncle and of Asanteman's interest in his present and future preservation.
Be able to visit at this time to see where he lived for about 24 years. And especially you being the real owners of the house and still continue to be the owners and admitting us. It means you also admit as in as the old man was there.
You always, all the old man said, please try and keep this. Your mom until she died, which I did. I looked after her for 27 years. And secondly, she said, take care of this house. We'll try.
With nothing to lose, life is just an easy cruise in paradise. Forget the wheels, forget the bills, let's climb the hills, free from all deals. Life is just an easy cruise in the Seychelles Isles. Dreamt to take you there, leave all the hurt you bear. It's written needing in somewhere where you and I.
Of all Prempeh's experiences on the island, the most enduring and of rippling effect was the contestation of faith, his and Asante's in God. It was not in doubt as far as they were concerned. The British, when Queen Victoria was Empress of much of the world, had converted and given him the Christian name of Edward. At the St. Agnes's Anglican Church, where he was baptized, though it would be in this church, St. Paul's Anglican Cathedral, he worshipped most of the time.
I would like to welcome you at St. Paul's Cathedral. Today is the fourth Sunday of Easter. It's a service of thanksgiving, of memorial for King Prempeh of Asante. It is good to welcome you in this place. We also give thanks for the King's 16th anniversary of his enthronement.
Today, from the Gospel of our Lord Jesus Christ according to John, we have the words of Jesus saying his robe to the Pharisees. In the beginning of this chapter of the Gospel according to John, he answers the Pharisees as they question him he is, and that says that I am the good shepherd. That's who Jesus really is. For Jesus, the good shepherd, knows his sheep, and he knows all the details of our lives. You and I have nothing to hide from the good shepherd.
Prempeh permitted one of his sons, John, to be ordained as an Anglican priest in the bigger island of Mauritius. It was a pacifist act to the British and commitment of faith. Paul Boateng, born during the exile with his brother Thomas, later explained that, "I do not think the elders sat down and rationalized whether they would convert or not. They found themselves in an alien context. Here, in Seychelles, the people drew comfort and strength from God, whom they worshipped in a different way. It was the same God as far as the elders were concerned. It was later that they had to decide on a Christian denomination."
Perhaps Nelson Mandela modeled his life after King Prempeh. By this visit, Otumfuo Osei Tutu II has asked me that to inform you that the memory of Ghana and his achievements will always encourage him to pursue assiduously the legacy bequeathed by the great King Prempeh I. Once again, I would like to thank you, priests and the congregation, for the benefit of this service, and wishes to inform you that even though each will be far away from you in Ghana, is always with you who spread at this church.
But much has not changed in Asante's belief that God should be worshipped in a cultural context. The Asante royalty is mainly Anglican, thanks to Prempeh's baptism. But the ivory trumpet poets and verbal artists still use their media to glorify God in the most cultural form of hybridism and through the sacrament of the Eucharist. The Asantehene is today the titular head of the church in Asante, the Metropolitan Archbishop of the province of West Africa, and the primate is the Bishop of the Kumasi diocese and a subject of the king. The Most Reverend Dr. Daniel Yinka Safu, as well as descendants of Prempeh who have been chancellors and peoples and priests wardens over the decades. The impact is geo-neutral, and the singing of Handel, Zadok the priest, or God Save the Queen could be with the same flourish whether the Archbishop of Canterbury is officiating at the Westminster Abbey or St. Cyprian the Martyr in Kumasi. A century and 2 decades of a young king's exile is remembered with deep meaning. Hawkish historians tend to treat Prempeh's reign with peripheral analysis and overlook his reasoning power at the time. When resistance to an arch-imperial intention of destruction did not always lead to resolution at the crossroad of history. They turn to forget also that throughout the period he was the testament of cultural faith and its defense through history writing and the elegy of letters. The personally taught history of his people to the new generation born on the island and celebration of Asante festivals. That he also became a sorrowful figure of cultural bereavement, having to bury his parents and other elderly chiefs in a foreign land without due honors as leader of the exiled group. He has written in one of his letters that of the 54 people I came with, there remain only 6 chiefs, and out of the 6, 1 is blind. The remaining are old and ill. This has created more loneliness as compared to when we were so crowded. These letters of melancholy created nationalistic protests from the intelligentsia in the Gold Coast, including from Nana Oforiatta I, E.J.P. Brown, Dr. B.N. Quartey Papafio, the lawyer J.E. Casely Hayford, who said Prempeh should be allowed to die in his own land. Yet he still had the sanity of preservation, even at a point when he had reached the limits of his powers. If he had not been strong at the time, Asante would have been weaker today. He would not also have been able to sponsor as progenitor the transition of Asante into the 20th century's modernity. Today's relationship with former adversaries is friendship, diplomacy, and cultural cooperation.
Thank you very much. Well, we were there not so very long ago. Yes.
Unfortunately, I didn't.
And we didn't have time to travel outside of craft.
It could even be a drawback to imperial anthem. Queen Victoria would have been happy with this. But the leaders of old also believed in fate and the destination of his course, whether through layers in the deep forest, across streams or oceans. The path crosses the stream, they said. The stream crosses the path. Which is the elder? They once asked as a puzzle of sometimes life's dilemma. For they knew, if only for rhetoric, that the path was of long ago. The living also says in Asante of the death forbears, Yedru amanfuswa ne akai yanum. That the ancient of places remind us of the gallantry of the nation's builders. And so it is that a nephew remembers a great uncle.
And I'd like to be the one who asks and welcomes His Majesty the King from Ghana to please say a few words to Seychelles. Your Majesty.
For years to come, Seychellois will live with the memories of Carnival Victoria and the vignettes of his highlights, the king's big umbrella, his headgear or crown, the smoothing voices of the royal poets or Otumfuo amidst the ivory trumpet antiphonies, as well as the punctuation of his speech with linguistic affirmative approval.
Your Excellency, President James Michel, Excellencies, Your Royal Highness, distinguished ladies and gentlemen. 15 years ago, it became my dawn privilege to ascend the golden stool as the 16th king of the Asante Kingdom. Your great country, Seychelles, has been gracious enough to invite me and my delegation to make a symbolic return to the island, and we have chosen what we think is the right moment for this memorable voyage into history. We have chosen, not as some would have wished, to come and mourn and unburden ourselves of the pain and anguish of the past. We have chosen instead to join you in celebrating the joy of freedom. And I'm happy to bring with me the direct granddaughter of our legendary warrior Queen Mother, who apparently bears the name of Nanaya Asantehene II. For it was the courage to dare to be free of foreign domination that brought us into captivity. And your island was chosen for a refuge because, like the Gold Coast, you two were a colonial outpost. Today we are liberated within a strong sovereign united Ghana, and you too are liberated. So we join together in freedom to celebrate the creativity of our people expressed in song and dance, in poetry and in the fine arts. We salute the government of the Republic of Seychelles under your wise president on the organization of this carnival, and particularly for the effort to make it a focal point to international cooperation and the expression of authentic African culture. The more opportunities we create for the peoples of Africa to share and exhibit their inherent talents, the greater the prospects for achieving genuine unity and removing the sources of discord. When hearts are joined together to sing and dance together, there can be no room for xenophobia. Our destiny lies not in cutting each other adrift, but in joining our minds together to think, search, to innovate and to create. We have come to join you today to send this message to this troubled world that it is possible to rise above the pain and anarchy of history, to let go of the past and focus on the things that are beneficial to the well-being of our generation.